Hello, hello, hello. Hi there, and welcome to this week's episode of Connections with Kenyatta Collins. How was everyone's week? With the outbreak scare COVID-19, aka the coronavirus, I hope that we are all practicing healthy decisions, not just now, but at all times. Which is why today I'll be speaking with a medical professional to discuss proactive measures and more. Plus, see how one man took his second chance at life and turned it into an opportunity to give back to the community. That and much more when we return from this break. You're watching Connections with Kenyatta Collins. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Pastor Leo D. Cyrus, inviting you to share with us in our worship service. New Hope continues to do God's work in our community through weekly worship services and Bible studies. Our ministry has several outreach programs that serve the people of our community. Come be a part of our church family. We'd love to have you.
Hello everyone, I'm Brandon Griffin, aka Mr. Grip.
I'm Bentley, the hip hop barber pole.
The Hip Hop Barbershop offers the best haircuts.
We service ladies too, Grip.
Ladies, we can do your eyebrows and your cut as well.
We welcome walk-ins, but tell them about the online booking.
That's right, you can book an appointment online as well, or give us a call at 225-252-7773.
We know the flavor, neighbor.
Welcome to Connections with Kenyatta Collins. Now, for those of you that are unaware, the entire U.S. is under a national emergency. What does that mean? I am so glad that you asked, because joining me on today is someone who's here to discuss ways that you can remain safe and healthy during this time. Welcome, family nurse practitioner Kelsey Conley. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
It is such a pleasure to be here with you. So how many years have you been in the medical field?
I've been a nurse for 14 years.
14 years. What area do you specialize in?
I'm currently working in hematology oncology, but I've done med-surg, cardiology, gastroenterology, and I'm board certified to do family practice.
Okay. So in all of your years of practice, have you ever seen anything such as an emergency like this, such as importance?
I have not. This widespread hysteria kind of reminds me of Y2K, when everybody was saying the world was going to end, once 2000 hit. So, but in terms of medically, I've never seen anything like this before.
So where do you think all of this derived from?
I think the mass hysteria comes from the fact that the CDC really doesn't know a whole lot about this virus, because it's not something that the U.S. has dealt with before. So there's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of presumption on the part of the CDC, and so because there's not a lot of concrete facts, I think that's where all the fear is coming from.
The number one thing that I'm hearing a lot of people are saying is, wash your hands, but there has to be more to this to stay safe. So what do you tell people?
Well, that is the number one thing, wash your hands. It's interesting to find out how many people have not been washing their hands all these years, because that's one major way that you can protect yourself, not just from coronavirus, but also the flu, also your rhinoviruses, the common cold. Is to wash your hands, make sure that you're sneezing into your elbow, that you're not sneezing out into the air, to spread those droplet particles and potentially infect other people. The other thing that I would say is if you have those symptoms, to make sure that you're not around crowds of people, because that's how it's spread, close contact.
Some of those symptoms would be what?
Fever, cough, shortness of breath are the main three.
So if you are feeling those symptoms, what should they do? Go straight to the emergency room, right?
They should go straight to the emergency room if they have those symptoms, yes.
So with the cases and presumptive cases in Louisiana, I know that you said you've never dealt with any of those cases. So should that time come, what are some of the ways that your clinic is aiding in that situation?
Well, we're currently looking into how to get the kits to test for it, because specifically where I am, we don't have that yet. So we're looking into that. We're going to first start off by checking for the flu, ruling that out as a cause for the patient's symptoms. We've already started limiting the number of people that can come to a patient's visits, so they're only allowed to have one person in the room with them if it's necessary for them to have somebody with them. We're also, because I work in hematology oncology, we see patients who are on active treatment, but those who are in surveillance. So they've gotten past whatever their original treatment was, and we're just monitoring them to see if their cancer comes back. And so those patients will kind of reschedule them or push their appointments back until till we get more information in regards to other steps that we're going to take, so that we can prioritize the patients that we're seeing and limit the number of patients that come through the clinic.
With everyone on edge now and panicking about the coronavirus, what do you think will occur within the next couple of weeks? Do you think there's a quarantine, a national quarantine?
It looks like things are headed that way. I know that some of the local schools have started offering classes online. I know that secondary school system has shut down basically for the next month until like the middle of April. And I believe that's the reason for the shortage of tissue paper and all these other essentials. It unfortunately looks like that's what it's coming to. Now, I will say this. I know that the healthcare officials and healthcare workers won't be part of that quarantine unless they have those symptoms. But that's what it's looking like it's headed to.
As someone that has direct care with patients, what are some ways that you are trying to remain healthy and safe?
So we have some, we call them hand washing police at work, that their job is to make sure that everyone in the clinic, including the providers, is washing their hands before they touch the patient, after they touch the patient, and after they come out of the room with the patient. So that's one thing that I make sure that I do. Try to make sure that I'm, sneezing into my elbow, just like everybody else should be doing. Making sure that I'm not spreading any droplet particles into the air. Then I'll be limiting my contact with people who are sick, because as a caregiver, I have to protect myself, not just for myself, but for all the patients that I come in contact with. And so that's another reason why we're limiting the people that are coming into the clinic, so that as we render care, we're not potentially harming other people.
I think there's a lot of speculation with coronavirus. How well do you think the United States is equipped to handle this magnitude of virus?
I really think we could handle it if we knew more about it.
Okay.
I think it's just because it's unknown. But there is information about the coronavirus that likens it to the flu. So it's just, I think if we knew more about it, we would discover that we can handle it.
I agree. So what we do know, well, we speculated once again, we read online on the internet, Dr. Google, all that it starts on the inside, right, in your lungs, and then it sits there and then it spreads. So how, is that what you really believe that works, or how do you think we come in contact with coronavirus?
So it's spread through droplets, respiratory droplets.
Okay.
So that would be coughing and sneezing. So that's why we're telling people, if you know you're sick, don't come to work. Stay away from people that you know that are sick so that you won't get it, because that's how it spread, respiratory droplets. There is some thought that it could be spread by touching a surface that has coronavirus on it. That's not the main way that it is spread. Mainly it's through close contact within, say, 6 feet of somebody who has it.
I certainly hope that you don't come in contact with anyone that has it. I know that you are equipped and you're well educated and all those things, but I don't want you to get sick and come in contact with it. So I know that we are encouraging all of our viewers to take precaution the best way that you can. And if you are sick, don't go out and infect anyone else.
Please. And let me say this, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
The people who are most susceptible to this would be people who are more susceptible to getting sick, period. So that's the very young and the very old. And then people who have compromised respiratory system. So COPD, asthma, chronic bronchitis, those people are more susceptible to it, and that's the people who have died. Those are the ones that have, because their lungs are already compromised. So.
Wow, that's a lot.
So I don't want people to be afraid, oh, I'm gonna get it and die. If you're healthy, if you're young and healthy, the likelihood of you getting past it, should you get it, is good.
The medication, that's what I really wanted to ask. I forgot to ask. Medications for that, as Louisiana has been stocked with the medication for that yet?
That I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, your clinic is based where?
In Lafayette.
In Lafayette. So to anyone that may have a question and want to get in contact with you, how would they reach you?
They can call UHC, University Hospital and Clinics, used to be the old state hospital, oncology department.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Don't forget to stay safe. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gerard Robinson Sr., pastor of the McEwen Baptist Church, and I want to invite you and your family to join the McEwen family in our worship experience. We have a number of ministries and outreach programs that's sure to strengthen your walk with Christ. I'm asking you to take the next step in your walk with Christ by joining us at the McEwen Baptist Church. We look forward to seeing you there.
I couldn't have asked for a better realtor. Well, I was sitting by the pool at my sister's house with my cousin and my sister, and I said, okay, I think I'm gonna get ready to buy a house. And she said, oh, just make sure you use Mr. Dupart. Never rushed. Always offered, always asked me if I wanted to see it again, or I'd ask him, well, let's look through this area of the house, and he'd take his time and let us go look through the different areas of the houses. But yeah, never rushed. He started work and he told me exactly what would happen when. I don't know how many lines this paper contract had on it, but Mr. Dupart went through every single line. This is my first home, and he went through every single line in detail and answered all the questions I had. So I was just really, really grateful that he took that time. And it didn't matter how late it was. You know, if he said, if I can answer any questions for you, you have my number, call me. So the process was scary in the beginning, but pretty quick he put me at ease, saying, I'm gonna walk you through each stage, each step of the way. I still can't believe how smoothly it went. Absolutely, I would recommend Mr. Dupart for anybody who's thinking about buying a home or ready to buy a home.
Success belongs to those who put in the necessary time and effort. This next story shows how one man turned his adversity into prosperity. Because change is good, right? Take a look. Have you ever heard the expression, your journey doesn't define who you are? Well, Benjamin Harris embodies that very sentiment. Harris, a local entrepreneur, has had quite the journey.
I was one of the guys who was incarcerated for drugs. Crack was, it was 100-to-1 disparity, and 1 gram of crack meant you were caught with actually 100 grams of powder cocaine. So when you go before the judge is sentencing you that way, whereas though this 1 gram of crack equals 100 times that much in cocaine, and that led to a 20-year sentence for me.
Just when all had seemed lost for Benjamin Harris, he received help from an unexpected place.
President Obama sent a memorandum out to all the federal institutes to file if you felt like you were over sentenced to him, send it to his partner office, and that was an opportunity for people who were over sentenced for crack in particular. And I took advantage of the opportunity to file, and I wrote the president and presented my story to him and my sentence, and whatever whatever was required is what I filed for, and I done the application, and now I'm here. It actually got granted.
Harris credits his success to his time spent transitioning from incarceration to emancipation.
When I got out, I started doing air conditioning and heating, but that type of work is seasonal. And once the season of winter came, I transitioned to barbering, which is what I was doing while I was incarcerated. And actually, my inventions were I came up with the inventions during my time doing barbering work while incarcerated, but when I got out and came here to this shop, that led to me coming to the realization that I needed my own invention to solve my own problem.
It was this epiphany that took Benjamin Harris from barber to inventor.
It has a ruler on it, first of all, that metric ruler, so if I want to measure from one point to another, I can utilize the ruler. So I have a accuracy when it comes to my lining, if I want to line from one point, and especially for beginners who's trying to figure out, hey, where do I start my line and where I end it. So adding the ruler to this and giving barbers and stylists and anybody in particular the opportunity to have these brushes. One is more softer and the other one is harder. So this is more easier. This cuts into the time it takes to start a haircut and finish it. This is my rat tail. This is a 3-way rat tail comb. All of them are heat resistant. This one has an angled taper brush, so the shape of it angled arcs up, but I use this for color and root touch up. The reason this one is designed is for color precision. When I don't want color touching on the skin, I can sway it and lean it and rock it in different directions when it comes to this, and me using this for coloring. So this is good too for detangling. I use this one too while I'm executing haircuts. And the third one is this. It's a rat tail comb too, but this one is mainly for chemical distribution with the flat tip brush. The difference is the brushes are just different, but this one is used to you can evenly distribute with this one. Edges too, edge control. They're currently in 8 Super Walmart locations. Primarily in this Baton Rouge region. Prairieville, Central, O'Neill Lane, Burbank, Contana Mall, Baker, Port Allen, and O'Neill Lane. The tail combs are $4.98 and the 4-way comb is $6.98.
Master barber and inventor aren't Benjamin Harris's only titles. This jack of all trades has added yet another accolade to his expanding resume.
Well, peer support specialist is somebody who's experienced some of the experiences that incarcerated people are experiencing, or someone who has mental health, or someone who's peddled with drugs or dealt with drugs or used drugs, has experience, and it's not just limited to that, it's pertaining to stress, post-traumatic stress disorders. I go in and out the prisons, I facilitate groups with inmates, and we talk about self-esteem, the experiences of felon, let's put it that way, and being in that situation of incarceration.
Making his way in the world was not an easy task for Benjamin Harris, but thankfully he was able to find his way and make a positive change in the community.
Well, I learned to look back at my failures, which is incarceration and drug dealing, and look back at it and see the impact that it had on my situation, which is constantly failure and incarceration. So I look at that, I talk about it in the groups too, to look at the failures, but use those failures to prepare you forward. That's very important. You don't want to forget. You just want to use those experiences to refine and build you as an individual and a person.
For Connections, I'm Kenyatta M. Collins.
With the rise of racism and peace being taken from the world, it leaves a person to wonder, what's going on in the world? Sadly, these things are not going away. Read The Dog Whistleblower to find the link between racism and the coming Armageddon.
Are you
suffering from substance abuse? Has your addiction taken over your life and left you defeated? Don't give up hope. The New Hope Outpatient Substance Clinic can help you achieve abstinence from addiction. Call 225-926-7911 today and begin your journey towards a better life.
He's young, successful, and knows his way around the kitchen. Meet Dijon Cage, the head chef and owner of DC Eats, Baton Rouge's newest and most exciting restaurant.
Started at 7 years old, mom's kitchen, you know, just whipping it up. Mom's was a single mom of 3 boys. I'm the middle child, so I'm the big little brother to the oldest, and I'm the big brother and overseer of the little brother. Like they, you know, I take care of. Mom's was, you know, like I say, single mother, working at the plant, trying to go to school and work another job. And, you know, you get tired of the hot pockets, the sandwiches, you know, the warm-up food, you know, the quick stuff. And I just got in the kitchen and started playing with the pots and pans and just saw what it become. I burnt up a lot of food in the making, but finally figured it out.
And boy, did he figure it out.
Like, I would cook a new something every day, like mash and pork chops, corn. Or the next day I'd try red beans and rice. And like, we was eating good every day. I just wanted to steady try new. Didn't know what I was doing. Self-taught. Self-taught.
Dijon's passion for the culinary arts is what ultimately led him to taking on a role that would forever change his life.
I graduated high school 2011. So I wanted to go to college, but then I wanted to go to culinary school. So signed up for culinary school, was supposed to go. Like 2 weeks before going, I decided not to go. I was like, oh, I know how to cook. Just talking to myself, I know how to cook, you know, what they gonna be able to teach me. That was just my mindset at that point in time. So I decided to go to school for criminal justice. Went to school for criminal justice, obtained my associate's degree in it, and wasn't happy with that. So it was just like, okay, God, what am I doing? I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm trying to run away from it. I tried to run away from cooking and catering and all that a couple of times, but it just never happened.
During the early years of his culinary career, Dijon was well known for his delicious spin on a popular chicken dish, which became the springboard for his high demand.
Wings are what put me through college.
The wings?
Yes, all I did were sling wings out my mama's house. People was pulling up like it was crazy. It was something I had going on called Crack Wing Monday. I'll go to class, get out of class, 12, 1 o'clock in the daytime. They lined up at my house waiting. So it had got so serious or whatever with Crack Wing Monday, I started going through almost like 600 wings a Monday out my mama's house, cooking on her stove.
It was a few years later that Dijon was able to find his niche in his culinary craft.
I'm a busybody. Anybody who know me, I stay on the go, I stay on the move. I'm just me. I got bored. I applied for a job at the bank. Got the job at the bank, Hancock. I started Hancock that Wednesday. I turned in my key that Friday, 3 days. They were like, what we did, you know, what's up? You know, why you quitting? I said, y'all, I just got a key for a building. I have a restaurant.
Whether you have a taste for waffles and bacon or red beans and rice, DC Eats is definitely the restaurant to satisfy your hunger.
We are most known for our soul food and the crack wings, of course, we're the home of the crack wings. I'm the only crack wing person that you get crack wings from. We're known for the crack wing. We're known for our pork chop sandwiches, you know. And like I say, soul food, your red beans, your rice, you know, the whole nine, potato salad, you know, good eating. You know, to where you're gonna be satisfied. Homemade punches and stuff, you know, just, you know, like that. And also, we do breakfast also in the morning. Our biggest breakfast hits at the moment are our chicken and waffles, grilled pork chops, and our shrimp and grits.
And for those who practice eating healthy, Dijon has some good news for you.
We'll soon be adding salads, healthy items, grilled chicken, shrimps, you know, the whole nine. Also fish. We're about to add fish, you know, for my people who, you know, don't eat meats and stuff, you know, certain type of, yeah. So slowly but surely, it's all coming together. And not just that, not to mention once again, which it still scares me to say we only 4 months in, it feel like we done been around forever, just, you know, how much love everybody is showing us.
Dijon's path to his success wasn't easy. However, he has a solid blueprint that he uses to encourage others.
If you're going to bet on anybody, bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. If you could go do it and do it for other people, you could do it for yourself. I know it's easier said than done. I had to make myself a believer in myself about it. Keep God first, remain humble, and you can't do nothing but win. And people ask me what's my secret. That's my secret. I don't do nothing out the ordinary. I promise. I don't. You have to put in the work for whatever you want or believe in. Look forward, have tunnel vision, don't look back, and don't worry about what the naysayers got to say. When you do that, just watch how quick you get to the top.
For Connections, I'm Kenyatta Collins.
Hi, this is Fred Jeff Smith, pastor of Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. Shiloh is a traditional church with the timeless message of the gospel of Jesus Christ. But that doesn't mean that we don't have something that will entice and intrigue you. We have a wonderful music ministry. We have wonderful children's ministries. We have a fabulous Christian education ministry. We're reaching out to you, inviting you to come and be a part of the Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. We want you to come and check us out. You'll be glad that you did.
This is normally the part of the show where I bid you an amazing week. But I would be remiss if I didn't make this announcement. As you know, Season 2 of Connections began in October 2019, and next week is our last show of this season. But don't worry, we'll return later this year, and I'll continue covering the stories that matter most to you, my Connectors, which is why I ask that you follow me on all social media platforms, Connections with Kenyatta Collins. Have a good one.